Hello everyone. I am here with my April reading wrap up, and it's nice and short today. I only read 10 books. I read slash listened to. And honestly, it was nice because every book that I read was a winner. Honestly, I'm really happy with the books that I read. I recommend all of them. I read a lot of new to me authors. I actually have like an infinite star, like new all-time favorite book in here, which is crazy. So it was a tiny but mighty month. I definitely had more plans for April. Like I would have loved to get up more videos that weren't just, like a reading wrap up, but April was honestly pure chaos of a month for me personally. So I'm happy that that month is in the past. Now we are in May and I'm already feeling revived. The sun is shining. I also have fake freckles on my face for makeup. I use my freckles, and if it looks crazy, it is what it is because I'm not taking it off. But hopefully on camera, it doesn't look that crazy. As always, I have my little template on my phone that has all the books I read. And actually, this is going to be in the order that I read them. So if you want to know all of the books that I read slash listened to in April, let's just get right on into it. Okay, so first up, I bought these audiobooks myself. And well, no, I'm a liar. I read the first one, bought the second audiobook because it is a duet, and it was a surprise to me that it was a duet. And that is the duet from Dahlia Davies is the author, and the first book is called Banging the Easter Bunny, and the second book is called Railing the Easter Bunny, I think. Okay, I just realized on the template that I did, both of the books have the same title of Banging the Easter Bunny, which is like Banging the Easter Bunny is book one. I can't believe I'm having this conversation. I can't believe I'm saying this out loud right now. But book two is definitely called Railed by the Easter Bunny. So basically the first book is like a 60-page novella. I thought that's all it was going to be. Turns out it leaves on a cliffhanger. And then the second one is like a full-length novel. I really got invested in the story of the main girl, hooking up with the Easter Bunny. Like I did, okay? I had no choice. I was invested. Listen, overall, I thought the duet was actually quite fun. It was a very solid, the second book was actually very fantasy. Like there were some fantasy elements to it where it's kind of like a world where like gods and humans like live in the same, world, realm, whatever it is. And like the girl now gets these powers and like she, wants to just be with the Easter Bunny fully, but she has to complete these tasks before she can actually be with him. And it was just, it didn't go in a direction that I expected, but I was pleasantly surprised. And I feel like if you're like me and you like kind of cuckoo, but also really spicy and fun, like monster romances, I feel like you'll have a fun time. Like it was good. It was not bad. Like I don't think it was poorly written at all. Then I listened to an advanced audio book copy of Wild Love by Elsie Silver, and oh boy did I love this book. I give this book 5 stars, obviously. I love Elsie Silver, and I love when she writes single dads. And what is this? Not only a single dad book, it's the first book in a series of single dad books. Like, I know Elsie did it for me. Like, she can say it wasn't for me. I know it was for me. This whole series is for me. It's her new small town romance series. Ford is a billionaire. He learns that he has a daughter, and he owns like this, I don't know if he owns it or like he works for this record company. Rosie ends up working for him, so it's kind of like a workplace, like forbidden romance. I loved Rosie and Ford so much. I love the relationship with Ford's daughter as well, not only her relationship with Ford, but also her connection to Rosie. Like there was one point when she makes her watch like Legally Blonde, and like they bonded, and Rosie's my kind of gal. She loves pink and she's just really sweet, and I thought this book was delightful. Another book that was a really good time that I also got an advanced listener copy of, that is The 9-Month Contract, or just 9-Month Contract by Amy Dawes. This is Amy Dawes' newest book. She took a break, from writing for, I don't know if it was 2 years, she's busy getting her books made into movies and just being a businesswoman and being an icon. Not only do I actually have a chat with Elsie Silver on my YouTube that you can watch, I also have a chat with Amy Dawes. And again, Amy is so funny. She's another one of my favorite author people. She just makes me laugh. And I love this book. This book was so up my alley. I can't remember the main characters' names. Do not ask me. But it is about a Grumpy Mountain Man. So it's basically, it like gives, she was saying it's like seven brides for seven brothers kind of vibes, but there's not seven of them, but there are these mountain men. And our main guy has his farm and he just wants to be a dad. And so he's looking for a surrogate. And our girl, obviously, she like needs the money. And she's like, okay, fine. They run into each other. They work out a deal. She ends up staying with him. So it is forced proximity. He does have a good amount of money. And this book was just so fun because there's so many farm animals. And as someone who loves books about farms, and I love farm animals, I love animals in books, I love this. I also love just books that have to do with pregnancy in general. I like it when main character is pregnant because I love it. I think it's just really sweet, and the way the main guy like gets so protective and like really cares for her and the baby, and then obviously watching the relationship develop into like they had a cute friendship into something physical, and then you get more emotional. I thought the book was just very, very well done is what I'm trying to say. I think I gave it 4 stars. I think. And then Wild Love, I gave 5 stars. The Dahlia Davies books, I don't even remember. I think I gave those like 3.5 or 4 stars. Sometimes I'm good with saying what I rated a book, you know, on a star rating, and then other times I forget. But if you want to know in the moment what I rate books and, you know, a place where I log it, you can go to my Goodreads link down below, and then also follow me on Instagram. I always give updates in my stories. And another audiobook that I listened to, I just realized every single thing that I read this month, aside from like the 2 monster novellas, another novella that I'll talk about, I did all on audio. Audiobooks really saved me this month. I could not eyeball read to save my life, but I did get a audiobook copy of The Fixer by Tara Crescent, and this is actually a book that I started in March, and I got, when I tell you, like 65% into the book. I was really enjoying this book, but I just had to put it on pause. It was kind of when I was getting into my slump where I could not read with my eyeballs, right? And I so luckily got a audiobook copy from Good Girls PR, and I finished it on audio, and this was a really solid 4-star mafia book. I really found it to be quite memorable. It's one of the situations where it is an age gap. It's an arranged marriage. She's let's just say she's inexperienced. So I found that element kind of hot. Like, I personally think like that's hot. Like, sorry, I said what I said. I said what I said. This book took a while to get like kind of spicy, but like once it got spicy, I thought it was really well done. It's definitely very entertaining. Like, this man, he wants to spoil her. Like, she works in fashion. She makes clothes and is a designer, and he one day goes to the fabric store and is like, okay, everything that she has on her wish list, I'm gonna buy. Like, okay, when will it be my turn? Like, when will I be next? I know this is a book in a whole series. It did read as a total standalone in my opinion. I know there's another book coming, and like I said, there are previous books in the series. I would definitely read more books from Tara in the future. I liked her writing style. Again, this book was very like snappy, like in its pacing, and I really appreciated that. And again, some of the spicy scenes were very hot. Next up, we have another new to me author, and this book was so fabulous. That is Strung Along by, is it Hannah Cowan? I want to say Cowan, but I also want to say Cowan. They said it at the beginning of the audiobook and I can't remember. But anyways, this is the first book that I read from Hannah, and of course it jumped out at me because it's a cowboy romance. If you're new here, hi, I'm Kelly. I literally love cowboys. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. The guy in this book is a country singer, and the girl moves to this small town after she finds actually her fiance cheating on her. That's the opening of the book. She's obviously upset, so she moves to this small town in Canada, where she meets this really grumpy guy, and they really do start off on the wrong foot. He is kind of an asshole to her, but he quickly makes up for it in the way that he just is so caring for her. And another guy who pays attention, acts of service. Like, there's one scene where like her car breaks down and it's, you know, winter and cold, and he's like, oh no, don't worry, I'm gonna come get you. There's another scene that I talked about a million times because I'll never be over it, and it's one of my favorite gestures that's ever happened in a book, where he bought her a cow. Like, he bought her a cow. He just got her a fluffy cow. I can't, like, when will a man buy me a fluffy cow? I just thought it was really sweet. The reason it's not a perfect 5 stars is because it is a touch long. Like, I kind of felt like it went on for a little bit too long, but aside from that, it was really romantic. It was so swoony. I loved the small town setting, and it was just really just hot and cute. I mean, it's not the spiciest book in the world, I will say, but like the tension between them and the romance was very, very lovely. I'm excited to check out book 2, which is about, you know, people who are introduced in this book. It's out now. I think it's called Catching Sparks, and definitely won't be the last book that I read from Hannah. I very, very much enjoyed this book, and if you're a cowboy romance gal, I think you'll have fun. It's definitely Yeehaw approved, really good cowboy vibes. You know, there's stuff with horses and the family farm and stuff like that, and it's great. And I had a wonderful, wonderful time. Another book I had a really wonderful time for is called She Came from the Swamp. And who's the author of this book? Don't tell me. Oh, Darva Green, which is funny because of the green on this cover. I mean, She Came from the Swamp. It's a sapphic monster romance. Obviously, I loved it. 4 stars. I love sapphic romance. I love monster romance. This was a win. I mean, it was a really fun novella. It really reminded me, it was so funny. In my mind, I pictured it as like True Blood, like the setting of True Blood, like Sookie's house and like the swamp that's by it, and just that was the vibe that I got. Obviously it's not a vampire like True Blood, but it's just that I pictured her living in Sookie Stackhouse's house, and I had a really great time with that. So it's, I don't know, it's literally about the girl fucking the monster in the swamp. Like, I don't know what else to tell you people. It's just very simple, to the point. This girl goes back to this house, her grandma's house. It's her grandma's house. Grandma passed away, and there are these like rituals that happen, and you can, you know, summon the spirits, make sacrifices to the spirits of the swamp. So the swamp creature happens to be a hot lady, and she says, wow, I'm a little bit attracted to her, and they're a little bit attracted to each other, and you know what? Spicy things happen. But it was like 90 pages. It was fun. I liked it. I was charmed. I would read more from this author for sure. And she has more sapphic monster romances in her backlist, and again, best believe I would check them out. For 2 books in a row where I actually do have the physical copy that I have with me on hand in my stack, we have Midnight of Ashes by Tessa Hale. This is the newest book in her series that she has. 3rd book, final book comes out, I want to say maybe June or July or something. But this book was really fun. This is a Why Choose Dragon Shifter romance, and oh boy, what I love about Tessa Hale books, even though I'm not a big paranormal romance person, like obviously I love monsters, but in terms of like paranormal like shifter romances, they're not really high priority for me to read, but her books are so well paced. I love that the chapters are so short, so they fly by. They're always a one-day audiobook listen for me. The characters she writes are always really interesting and fun. I like the guys in this you know, story a lot. My favorite is the teacher, maybe because he's like the older one and it's kind of like the most forbidden because he's a teacher at the academy. Maybe that's why I'm a little biased. Okay, I have a type. I have a type. But if you like alpha heroes who are really protective of their girl, you'll love this. There's a really fun scene where they like shift into dragons, and she's like, I just want to see you guys as dragons. And she like, you know, is like petting her dragon boyfriends. I mean, how fun, how fun. It does end on a really big cliffhanger as well. And I think these books, they just like suck you in. They're really good palate cleansers. I enjoy Tessa Hale's previous, you know, series that she wrote. And this book I gave 4.5 stars, I think, but it's between a 4 and 4.5 because I very much had a great time. I really did. Again, if you're like me and you haven't read a paranormal romance before, definitely check out Tessa's. I think you'll have a great time with it because I always really enjoy her books. And then the second to last book that I'm going to talk about is my Infinite Star read. I do love this book. Yes, I do. That is Burnout by Rebecca Jenshak. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, this book. No, this book brought me back to life. Like, the reason why I think I'm doing good with my May reads and I'm feeling good this month is because this book, like, it brought me back to life. It reminded me why I like to read, and I'm being so serious. This, as you can tell, is a sports motocross gymnast romance, and this is the first book that I read by Rebecca Jenshak. And please understand, if I could binge this woman's entire backlist, I would right now. I'm really excited to read more from her because this book just gave me everything. Opposites attract perfection, okay? Obviously, our man Knox is, you know, like all black, tattoos, bad boy, and Avery is like all pink gymnast, but she's really badass because she's an Olympian, like a gold, like I don't know if she's a gold medal gymnast, but basically she's a decorated gymnast, and she kind of is taking it a little easy because she's recovering from an injury. And then Knox, again, does motocross, and he hears from his friend that his friend got training from Avery at the gym, and the training helped with like his flexibility so he could do stunts on the bike. So he's like, yeah, I did this, you need help, so go to this girl. And then turns out they actually have already met. Like their first meeting was just, I loved it. Like there was tension between them, and they just kind of have like some, they have, it's not enemies to lovers, they have like a little bit of banter, and I love them. I'm like going on about this book and the plot because I loved it. I loved it. Like, why were they so cute? Maybe because I love a man on a bike, and I loved when she would like ride on his bike, and it was just, there was very good spice in here. And Knox also is like taking care of his brothers. He's connected to someone in Rebecca's previous series, and I just found this book to be perfect. I'm just like a giddy schoolgirl thinking about it. I would reread it again in a heartbeat. I just loved it, loved it, loved it. I love opposites attract. I appear to be a very big opposites attract person, apparently, and that's the vibe that I want, and this was everything. It had the vibes, but it also actually had the story, the heart. I love this couple. Knox does really cute things for Avery. I won't spoil it, but there's a scene where he like gifts her something, and I was swooning. I got this physical copy in a PR box. Thank you, team Rebecca Jenshak. I love you. Mwah. Then finally ended the month with another new to me author, another man on a bike, because once I got started, I couldn't stop, and I was very excited to see that the audiobook for When We Started, is it When We Started or Where We Started? Let's see. Where We Started, by Ashley Munoz. I'm so sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Was on Hoopla, and this is the first book in her Motorcycle Club romance series. This one obviously was a lot darker than the Rebecca Jenshak one because this is like a motorcycle club, so there was suspense, there was action. This is a like friends to lovers, like childhood friends who became lovers, then they got separated, you know, strangers, and then they came back. She came back in town, and that's how, reunited with her, you know, ex, and there was flashbacks. It was present day and flashbacks, which was fun, and I thought this book was really entertaining. It really was, and it was also really hot. Like, there were some spicy scenes that I was like, Ashley, I was clutching my pearls. I also really love motorcycle club romances. I really do. I am a sucker for them. I very much am. If you're like me and you want like a darker romance with suspense, but nothing like too dark or anything, I would definitely check this out. I really enjoyed Ashley's writing, and like I said, she can write the spice. She can write the spice. All right, everybody, that was it. Those were the 10 books that I read / listened to in April. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff down below. Follow me on all of my socials, which are linked in my bio. It's TikTok, Instagram, Goodreads, all that fun stuff. I'm already excited for all of the reading that I'm doing in May so far, so hopefully it stays this way. We're on a really good streak right now, and I can't wait to talk about it in my May reading wrap-up. But I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye!